The next fight, bantamweight bout here, Sidey minus 215 against Ramon Taveras, sitting at plus 160. 8-1 for Taveras and 9-1 for Sidey out of Canada. 27 years of age for him, 29 years of age for Ramon. If you look at where Sidey's been fighting, it's that BFL in Canada. That's where Mateo Vogel fought, or he was the champion in, who fought last week. And he actually fought Mateo Vogel. Wasn't in BFL, but it was in BTC 9, the BTC promotion, another Canadian promotion. And he lost to Mateo Vogel. That's his only loss. So it's not a bad loss. When I was watching him on film, longer 135er, and he's going to stand and strike with you. Same with Ramon Taveras, not as long, but he looks like he wants to stand and strike with you. I would say Taveras has some cleaner boxing. He looks like he's pretty composed in there, but the level of competition that he's facing on the regional, not like anything crazy, not anything crazy whatsoever. I mean, he's knocking dudes out that are Charles Bennett, who is like 43 years old and has 73 professional fights. He's got 41 losses. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how good the competition he's facing is, but either way, he looks solid on the feet with the hands. He's coming in here as an underdog against Sidey. Think he could get it done, or are you going with the Canadian?
I think he could get it done. I mean, there's a path to victory. Obviously, he's powerful. He has a ton of knockouts on his record. A lot of them come in the first or second round. But, man, the records of the opponents he's fought do just jump off the page to you. Like, his last fight was against a guy who's 5-5. Before that, 30-41. Like, he's not fighting any absolute killers by any means. I mean, he has a TKO loss in the first round against a guy named Edward Massey, who was 5-5 at that point too, or 4-5, I think, going into that fight. So his boxing is clean. Like I said, he's got some power, but overall, I just don't, Sidey, I think, is probably could be the more well-rounded fighter here. He shows kind of a more diverse attack. He's going to be a little bit more dangerous anywhere this fight goes. And I think the level of competition is clearly better. I mean, like you said, he lost to Mateo Vogel, who we saw in the Contenders last week, who probably should have got the win. Like, he's fighting guys like that. I just think he's probably a little more UFC ready at this time. Not to say that Taveras doesn't have a good enough boxing or power or even grappling to make it to the UFC. But in this spot, I just think I think Sidey's probably the one that's more ready. I think he's the one that can go longer in the fight if he has to, and probably has the better experience too. So I got to go with him.
Yeah, Sidey's been fighting in 5-round fights. I mean, he's been fighting the BFL championship. That's his last 5 fights. He's been fighting for 5 rounds, and one of them went to a decision. So he can go longer. I'm interested to see what their actual height and reaches are. Like, Sidey looks pretty tall and pretty long compared to Ramon Taveras, but they don't have any of the stats on Tapology. Yeah. So maybe you want to look at that at like weigh-ins and see what the size difference is there. For the sake of the pick, I'm going to go with Sidey because he's been fighting the better competition. And if it's on the feet, I think it's probably a closer fight if Taveras can find the range, if I am correct in the size difference. But I would probably think Sidey wants to mix it up if he wants, a better path to victory, because Taveras looks like a pretty clear boxer, stand-up type guy. But for the sake of the show, I'm going to go.